Ever watch the Olympics and, in between cramming fistfuls of potato chips into your face, think to yourself, I could do that? If you really tried and trained and dedicated your entire life to your pecs and glutes, you might even be as athletic as these kids, who could beat you up before they even learn to drive. Tremble before these little kids with superhuman strength.
I have the power!
Giuliano and Claudio Stroe. 10-year-old Giuliano and his 8-year-old brother Claudio work out for at least 2 hours every day and are basically junior Terminators as a result. And those muscles aren't just for show. These kids are legitimately strong. Giuliano is a world record holder for the most 90-degree vertical push-ups, an exercise in which your feet never touch the ground. Even watching it will make your body hurt. He also holds a record for being a human flag, which is exactly what it sounds like. Claudio isn't quite at his older brother's level yet, but the simple fact that he can do any of these stunts eclipses just about anything most of us regular lumpy folk can manage. Hoekstra. At only 5 months old, before he was even out of diapers, Hoekstra was able to perform Olympic-level gymnastic maneuvers, like the Iron Cross. Because his family didn't find him in a spaceship that crashed on their farm, they were understandably concerned and decided to get him checked out. They discovered that he has a condition called myostatin-related muscle hypertrophy, which is just a really complicated way of saying super strength. Despite being parents of perhaps the first real-life superhero, Liam's parents are hoping to keep him out of the spotlight for now. At the age of 9, he seems to be living a normal life, just don't expose him to any kryptonite. Maryana Naumova. She may look like a normal teenage girl, but Maryana Naumova is also a world bench pressing champion. Since the age of 10, she's been lifting barbells and broke 24 world records for under 18 lifters, and is recognized as a master of sport in Russia. In March 2015, she became the first woman under 18 to compete in professional benching championships. Of course, she crushed that too, lifting over 330 pounds during the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic to set a new women's record. Not only that, but she's also an activist and peacemaker, touring war-torn Ukraine and Russia, promoting friendly lifting competitions and charity concerts. In short, she's both nicer than you and can lift you clean over her head. Naomi Kutin.
Yeah, Naomi.
Oh yeah.
It's a fact. 14-year-old powerlifter Naomi Supergirl Kutin can lightly lift more than you. Her specialty is the raw squat, but she can also deadlift and bench press with the best. As a child, she started lifting simply to stand out among her peers. In 2012, she broke the world squatting record for 97-pounders. In 2013, she squatted 225 pounds and became champion for a third time. In 2014, she added another pound and set the record for that class as well. Basically, when she can lift a minivan, she'll be satisfied. Maybe.
Ah! Rip me off the floor! Like me! Ah!
Jinlong. When you think of strength, most people generally imagine someone muscular who can probably bench press a lot. What you don't typically imagine is a chubby kid from China.
Mighty Mouse has a sense of humor when asked by a reporter why he has so much strength.
Because I'm fat.
At only 7 years old, Jinlong was somehow already a dozen times stronger than you, which he demonstrated by pulling cars just for fun. So make sure to train your kids in the art of freaky strong truck pulling. It'll come in handy if you ever run out of gas. But also, don't take them off, advice Jinlong's dad probably keeps in mind all the time, since the kid could probably crush his skull with one hand. Not that we think he would. Look at him, he's adorable. Varya Akulova. Nothing about Varya Akulova makes sense. She's tiny, has no crazy huge muscles to speak of, and subsisted on nothing but noodles and water as a child because her family was so poor. And yet, she's basically the strongest girl in the world, capable of lifting things several times heavier than her. By age 10, she could out-wrestle and overpower her father, who was a circus strongman himself. And by 14, she could lift the equivalent of 4 fully grown men. Her father theorizes this side of the family is just naturally freaky strong. Varya's great-grandfather could allegedly carry 2,600 pounds on his back. Varya could also read by the age of 3 and has been a top student since. So no, you're neither smarter nor stronger than her, sorry.
Suck on that!
Sandrak. Not every child musclehead keeps pumping past puberty. Sandrak, for example, gained fame in the early 2000s as Little Hercules.
Hercules.
Wait, no, not that one, this one.
One boy questions his destiny, and against his father's will, he travels to a place unlike any other.
He started training as an infant and could lift 180 pounds by age 6. Tragically, the whole thing was a setup by his father, Pavel. His sad, bad dad wanted fame and fortune so much that he denied his son a childhood. He forced Richard into hours of intense daily training, not allowing him to have friends or to eat anything but lettuce and powdered muscle drinks. After Richard's dad went to prison for attacking his wife, social services ordered that Richard couldn't lift weights again until he was 16. Sandrak slowly weaned himself off this superhuman training regime, gave in to pizza, and learned to play guitar. If anything, he's actually healthier now than he was back then, as little Hercules only had 1% body fat, which is dangerously low for anyone, especially a child. Today, in his mid-20s, he's a relatively fit stuntman, but we'll always remember him as Little Hercules.
But Father, I want to learn about being human.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch more videos like the one you just saw, and leave us a comment to let us know what you thought of all these little Herculi and Herculises.